problem. Now we realize that variation can be of two types. Process variation, another one is measurement variation. Reducing process variation is the aim in any Six Sigma project. But in order to do it effectively, you must do this first. That is why measure phase is brought in, right? Reduce the measurement variation. Otherwise, you call it measurement error. Bring it less than 10%. And measurement variation can be of two types. Accuracy error. Another one is precision error. Accuracy is nothing but closeness to the true value. Accuracy is nothing but closeness to the true value. Precision is nothing but consistency in your reading. Accuracy is nothing but closeness to the true value. Precision is nothing but consistency in your reading. Let me help you with an example. 100 mm is the true value, but the reading observed is 100.1. Now 100.1 is closer to 100. It seems to be accurate. Maybe it depends on it all depends on the situation to say whether 0.1 is accurate or not. But definitely when 100 mm is measured as 103, that's not accurate because 3 mm is far away from 100, right? So the more closer you are to the true value, the more accurate you are. The difference between the observed value and the true value is called a bias. If the bias is 0, you are 100% accurate. If you allow the bias to increase, then you are slowly becoming inaccurate. But and to be accurate, you need to be precise also. Precise in the sense, you must be consistent. For example, and this you already studied, bias, linearity, and stability. And precision has two components. One is repeatability, another one is reproducibility. What is repeatability? I measure a component multiple times. What is the dimension of the component? Our discussion is 100 mm. You are asking me to measure it 3 times. I measure 3 times and I give you exactly 100 mm all 3 times. Component is 100, the measured value is 100. And now 3 times I measured, all 3 times I am saying it is 100. Now tell me, am I accurate here? 100 mm is measured as 100 mm. Can you tell me, am I accurate?
Yes, sir.
Sir, it is accurate.
I am accurate, no bias. Now 3 readings I gave, all 3 readings are 100. Now tell me, am I consistent?
Precision.
Yes, I am accurate also, I am consistent also. That I am accurate as well as precise. Do you think both are required?
Yes.
Both are.
Yes.
Suppose imagine, let me give you another reading. My readings are 3 readings I have taken. 99, 100, 101. 99, 100, 101. I always collect multiple data and take the average for my consideration, isn't it? And now the 3 readings are 99, 100 and 101. Now tell me, am I precise in my reading? Am I consistent?
No, sir.
No.
No, because I am supposed to give 3 readings exactly same. Why I should give 3 readings exactly same? Because it is the same part, same dimension, same equipment, same company, same environment. Everything is same, but I am not consistent enough. I am not competent enough to maintain the consistency. I am in the sense the whole system. The man, myself, the product, the environment, people who are assisting me, everybody is responsible for the inconsistency. But for the same reading, 3 reading, 99, 100 and 101. What is the average? Because the average is I always use in my what is the average of 99, 100 and 101? Come on, it is not a tough job I am giving you.
100. 99.5. 99.5.
Are you sure? Oh, is it so? Okay, 1 minute. Okay.
0.5.
99, 100 and 101. Okay. 99, 100 and 101. Sum up all the three, how much it is?
300. The average is 100.
Average means you sum the number and divide by 3. So what is the average now? 100.
100.
What is the true value?
100.
So
True value
am
is
I
100.
accurate now?
Yes, sir. Okay.
I am accurate, but I am not precise. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
What is required for correct understanding of the problem is you need to be accurate, you need to be precise. Clear? And precision you can measure using two components. One is repeatability, another one is reproducibility. Literatures and books might call repeatability as equipment variation, reproducibility as operator variation. But the real meaning lies, you understand repeatability and reproducibility, right? It is only books are using the term, right? So repeatability means the inconsistency in the readings of single appraiser. The inconsistency in the readings of single appraiser. Who was the appraiser in my example? I was the appraiser. I collected data, but my data are not same, but the product is same. That the error I committed is the error within the reading of a single appraiser is called repeatability error. Suppose, let us say there are two appraisers. One is myself, Sivakumar. Other one is, I could see Surajit on video. So other appraiser is Surajit. So I measure a product and I say that the reading is 101. And Surajit says that the reading is 102. Both of us measured the same product. I am saying 101, Surajit is saying 102. Now, do you think we both are consistent? Come on. Do you think we both are agreeing to each other?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. See, please listen my words very carefully and try to answer. I'm asking simple question, right? I am saying 101, Surajit is saying 102. That means we are disagreeing between us, isn't it? So this disagreement is another source of inconsistency. See, we both are measuring the same product and we are using the same equipment. We both were given the same instruction. But in spite of all the efforts, I give one reading and Surajit is giving some other reading. And that is another source of variation and inconsistency. That error is called reproducibility error. In terms, the error within single appraiser is called repeatability. The error between multiple appraiser is called reproducibility. Since you involve so many data collectors and everybody can measure the way they want, and then everybody can give different levels of error. What is the kind of error you are committing? Reproducibility error. And each individual, when they are collecting data repeatedly, they need to be consistent. That is not happening. Individually, each one may commit repeatability error. When you combine the two, it's called precision error. All of you understand all the terms in the slide? Are you to me? See, I have seen very lively participation last week and expect this.
Yes, understood, sir.
Right. Any difficulty, we are there to help you. That is why we are asking you. Any doubt, you can ask, I will explain. Otherwise, I'll take it granted. Now, I think we already discussed about resolution. Am I correct? We already discussed. Resolution? What is resolution? Come on. Though I am a professor, don't expect me to lecture continuously. We can talk, right? So, what is resolution? Our understanding.
It's mainly a least count. So
Very good, beautiful. Least count. See, all of you know all the answers. Only thing is, no, you hesitate.
Incremental.
Break it. You can be an expert. So your answer is perfectly correct. Least count. That is the resolution. And now this inch tape you already discussed. Now I want all of you, each one of you, to find out the resolution of the stopwatch that is there in your mobile phone. All of you must be having a mobile phone, right?
Yes, sir.
Mobile phone, open the app which contains the stopwatch and tell me the resolution of it. Please go ahead, all of you do it. Just open your smartphone and go to the maybe clock, digital clock. Digital clock will have an option of stopwatch and tell me what is the resolution of your stopwatch.
Milliseconds.
How much it is? See, learning by doing is always great.
Point,
Try to-
0.01.
Point?
0.01. 0.01.
Okay, 0.01. I really appreciate Arul Shekhar's finding. He is correct.
0.01.
Arul Shekhar, tell me what is the unit of
Minutes.
No, no.
0.01 minutes?
0.01 seconds.
Point
Seconds.
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 Beautiful. 0.01 seconds is correct. That means when you have 0.01, what does it mean? You divided 1 second into 100 components. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
1 by 100 is 0.01. So 1 by 100 is centiseconds. So the least count of the stopwatch, what you have in your smartphone is 1 centisecond. Can I say like that?
Sir, we can say as a centisecond.
Yeah. You and 100 centiseconds will make 1 second. Or your language is also fine. 0.01 second is the least count. Hope all of you understand. 0.01 second is the resolution as far as the stopwatch is concerned. Am I correct?
Yes.
So no confusion. So everybody has understood what is resolution. If the resolution is better, NDC will be higher. We are going to understand what is NDC in the next slide. If resolution is better, NDC will be higher. Because there is a requirement. NDC should be minimum 5. So what is NDC and how to improve the NDC? But I straight away give you the solution. If you want to improve the NDC, resolution should be better. You go for equipment with a better resolution, your NDC will increase, right? So resolution is the incremental ability of a measurement system to discriminate between measurement values. If you use the smartphone to measure time, you can even differentiate two reading to the tune of 0.01 second. That much level of resolution is possible. That is what the resolution says. And for vernier caliper, the least count is 0.01. For this kind of inch tape, it is yesterday that day we discussed that it can be 0.5 mm or something. All that we discussed. Now imagine I have a measurement system and I collect data. My readings are coming like this: 5.1 occurred 1 time. 5.2 occurred 4 times. 5.3 occurred some 6 times. 5.4 occurred 3 times. 5.5 occurred 2 times. Now I want you to tell me what is the resolution of this equipment.
0.1.
0.1.
0.1. Very good. It will be 0.1 mm or something, right? 0.1. Beautiful. Since my resolution is 0.1, between 5.1 and 5.5, how many readings are possible? Or how many types of readings are possible?
5.
5 types of readings are possible. 5 categories of readings are possible. Though I have 20 reading, I put them in 5 different buckets. The first bucket is 5.1, second bucket is 5.2, third bucket, fourth bucket, and fifth bucket. Ultimately, only 5 categories are possible. So NDC is 5. Do you all understand what is NDC? Yes?
Yeah.
Any measurement system should have an NDC of minimum 5. If you are collecting feedback in such a way that it is good, bad, and very bad, NDC is only 3. You can't understand the problem deeper. Minimum how many is required? Minimum 5. That is
Sir,
why you see.
I have actually, sorry,
Yes, please.
you. I stuck up with some other. Sir, that 0.01 is centisecond, no? It's not a millisecond. No?
Yes,
Yeah, because millisecond is 0.001.
yes, you're right. You're right. 0.01 is
So I
centisecond.
was, yeah, I stuck up in, that I thought it's a 70 seconds. So I was correct.
But your understanding is correct. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good. And now, so NDC, otherwise called as discrimination index, this needs to be minimum 5 in any measurement system. Whatever you are collecting, please make sure you keep an NDC of minimum 5. If you are not able to keep NDC of minimum 5, later on you will struggle with your data during the analysis. You may not get the deeper insight about the problem. That NDC compares measurement variation and process variation. And statistical formula for NDC is this. Minitab will calculate using this formula. You don't have to worry how Minitab calculates, but this is the formula. 1.41 into sigma of the parts divided by sigma of the gauge. I am teaching you what is sigma of the parts and sigma of the gauge, but you have to be very, very carefully listen to me. Sigma of the parts is the problem. Sigma of the parts is the process variation. Sigma of the gauge is the measurement variation. Process variation divided by measurement variation multiplied by 1.41 will give you NDC. This is a formula, but Minitab will take care. Today I will give demo with the Minitab also. Right. Now I want one of you to read the definition of repeatability and then I will explain. Come on. One of you please read out.